evaluation. Now, realist evaluation is very similarly related to theory of change. It's after these two academics, Pawson and Tilley. They place this big emphasis on, within explaining what is happening in theory-based impact evaluation, it's the combination of the context and the mechanism that gives the outcomes. All the time they're talking about context and mechanism gives rise to outcomes. And what they posit is trying to understand from a sort of an evaluation perspective, what configurations within the logic chain, what configurations of context and mechanism give rise to successful outcome, these so-called CMOCs. And what it seeks to do, what works, how, in which conditions, and for whom. So it's a little bit like, if you imagine, if we just take vanilla theory of change, which basically is just probably a single explanation of how you get from A to Z through the logic chain steps, the realistic evaluation essentially is beginning to say, okay, well, that might be one route, that might be a second route, that might be a third route, that might be a fourth route. And for each of these different routes, they're trying to identify this combination of context plus mechanism equals outputs. For each of these, they're trying to understand the configuration of context and mechanism as outputs, and which of these appears to give the best result in terms of achieving Z at the bottom. So typically, again, it's a theory and a hypothesis formulation exercise, developing what they call the middle range theory. That's this one in the middle, yeah. And then a series of what they refer to as conjectural mini theories or CMOCs, a wiggly one, a curved one, an angular one, which configurations seem to give the best results in terms of achieving Z. Data collection, we talked about data collection a few moments ago, how those CMOCs, each of those different shapes, have operated in practice, and from that then analysing and concluding. Having got this sort of spectrum of contexts and mechanisms and outcomes, then in analysis and review, trying to identify which of these routes appears to be the most successful in arriving at the results, the Z point, as we've expected.